Hi everyone, and welcome to this video today where I'm going to be talking about crystals and how we can connect to our intuition and get the best out of our crystals. So we're working with energy when we're working with crystals, and they all vibrate at different sort of levels, areas, and they work with different chakras as well. So if we understand a little bit about how we perceive energy, I believe we're going to get the most out of our beautiful crystals. So if you're anything like me, you've got probably a huge collection of crystals. So this is part of my collection that I've got here, and I wanted to show you just a little bit about the practical ways and uses of them, and maybe just understanding a little bit more about them. So I kind of think of them like a life force, a life energy, and not quite like plants or like what we are, but I do believe that they vibrate at a kind of a life force. And you know, as we know, scientists are discovering more and more about crystals every day and the special things that they can do. So I wanted to, I guess, cover about intuition and how I work with crystals and how I found the benefits of working with them on an intuitive perspective as well. So firstly, I'm going to cover buying crystals and how we can buy crystals. So yes. So when it comes to buying crystals, so when I think about when I go off to a beautiful crystal shop or a witchy shop or a marketplace, I think when we're going out physically to buy our crystals, there's a different sense that you're going to get from them, because I suppose there's lots of popular ones you'll see like on the internet that people are buying. You're like, oh, you've got to have moldavite, or you've got to have rose quartz, or you've got to have this and that. So you don't have to have any particular type of crystal. I'm going to say that right now. That's important. Your higher self is going to know what type of crystal you are drawn to. So when I'm going off to a witchy shop or a marketplace or something like that, something might just jump out at me, and I'll be like, oh, I really like the look of that, and I really like the shape, and when I touch it and when I hold it, I might feel tingles in my hands, I might feel something in my heart, or I might feel something in my mind. So I really like to think of it as an experience where it's a spiritual experience when you're buying your crystals. And you can go and buy them online, there's nothing wrong with that, and I've done that as well. More often than not, when I've bought crystals online and they've come to me, I probably had to work harder to form a connection with them, because I haven't really had that connection already with them yet. So that's probably the only advice I can give when it comes to buying online. You know, it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'll give you an example. So I got this pink amethyst. It's just gorgeous. You can see in there. Yeah, there we go. So you can see that here with the beautiful sort of flecks in it as well. So this pink amethyst, I got it from a wholesaler in Melbourne, and I was just walking around and they had a special 50% discount off, and I was looking at this one in particular, and for me the budget was a little bit on the expensive side, and I was looking around at other ones and other little pink ones that were slightly cheaper and things, and I kept coming back to this one in particular, and just something just drew me in. And at the time, I didn't know that it was pink amethyst. It was, I thought it was, because it was next to all the rose quartz and stuff, so I thought it might have been part of the family, but it looked so different. Like it had this, this sort of fleck in it as well, which rose quartz for me, I haven't noticed before. And, oh, sorry, it's so hard to focus. There we go, that's better. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that on rose quartz before, so when I looked at this was, I was wondering what it was. So I bought it anyway, and I thought, look, whatever, I'm just gonna buy it because I love it. And then I got home and I looked up what the meaning was. So it's definitely connected to your heart chakra, like rose quartz is, but it also works, what I found, it also works with the higher chakras as well. So it helps with connecting to your intuition, and apparently it's quite a rare sort of stone as well. So, you know, being the color pink, you know, we normally have purple amethyst that looks like this with the purple. So yeah, so it works with the higher chakras, and it's great for, yeah, connecting to your higher self and your heart and compassion and love for yourself and others as well. So it's a, yeah, beautiful, beautiful crystal. And I guess that's why I was drawn to it at the time, because it was something that my intuition, my higher self was calling out and saying to me, get it, even though I was like, oh yeah, expensive. But anyway, it's here and I love it. So that's an example of choosing crystals and how something might just jump out at you. And if you're not using your intuition at the time, you're not going to really know what you need yourself. And because your higher self does generally know what you need. So that's choosing crystals from an intuitive perspective. I wanted to also touch on moldavite as well. So I do have it here. So moldavite is glass, a form of glass, and it's a form of tektite. And it was formed when a meteorite hit the Czechoslovakian mountain region millions of years ago. And it's going to be one day extinct. So this one here that I got, oh sorry, here we go. Hopefully you can see that and it'll focus in at some stage. There we go. Yeah. So this one I got, and it was online as well. And it's got a little chip in it now, but it did do a lot for me. And it's quite a strong stone. And I will say that if you're ever going to buy moldavite, you know, expect a lot of sort of shadow work to take place at that time, and a lot of transformational, you know, energy, because it's quite it's going to really expose all the stuff, you know, all the stuff you don't want to face. So I was wearing this during my Reiki training, and I do believe it really helped during that time to really get down to the root cause of a few things. So I would recommend moldavite, getting it, like, but don't feel like you have to go and get this particular type of crystal if you want to draw out shadow work and stuff. So that's my main point there, because there's other stones that do that as well. So like you've got plenty of other ones, like obsidian, that's a really good protective stone, and it's also really good for, I find for myself and my intuition, it's been great for shadow work as well. But if you want a bit of a softer one for shadow work, smoky quartz, that's another really good one as well. So any of the dark stones basically is going to be really good for drawing out stuff for you. But yeah, smoky quartz in my experience has been really good for that too, because it's a little bit softer, it's a little bit gentler. And yeah, some of these ones here, like these are really good for warding and protecting. So I do love to have this on my altar. And you know, being the pointed energy too on the side here, the generator, it's really good for gridding and stuff as well, because when you see this shape, it's directing energy. So if you want to direct energy in a specific way, like I like to sort of, if I'm doing a meditation or something, I might point this at myself and I'm like, I want to draw something dark out of myself. So that's just me using my intuition. So I guess that's what I really wanted to cover here. So yeah, so that's just something to think about when it comes to crystals. Like really, like you're going to read a lot online about it does this, it does that. It's like dot points and stuff. But really, when we think about them, they hold so much energy, and we may not have discovered some of the stuff that they hold, but in your intuition, you will discover something personally yourself. So that's what I really wanted to, yeah, I guess cover there. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about cleansing your crystals. So after I've gone and bought a crystal for myself, generally what I'm going to do when I get it home is I'm going to cleanse it with a little bit of water. So that just gets, rid of some of the little bit of the negative energy it may have accumulated in the big long process that the crystal has gone through. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. What else you can do is you can use some oils, like essential oils as well, and you can sort of rub it, the crystal with the essential oil with cleansing agents in it. So cleansing herbs are really, really good. So if you've got any sort of cleansing essential oils, that's also really good. There is a few stones, a few crystals that you cannot cleanse. So just research what ones can't. Generally, anything that ends in "ite" cannot be cleansed. So we've got selenite, for example, here. So, this is my Athane. So I love this. So this does not need to be cleansed at all. So it's a cleansing stone in itself. You can also cleanse other stones with selenite. So you can put your other little gemstones, you can put your gemstone jewelry on there as well. So selenite's a cleansing agent in itself. So I thought I'd just drop that in there. What else you can do is you can use dried rosemary, bay leaves, Palo Santo. Like, I'll give you a bit of a, sorry, it's so dirty, but it's been, burning all my garden herbs and things. And this is Palo Santo as well. So that comes in a few different forms as well, Palo Santo. But yes, smoke cleansing them is really, really good. You can also use sound. So if you've got sound bowls or you've got bells as well, that's another really good way you can cleanse them. So that's the next step of the process. After I've gotten my crystals home, I will start the cleansing process. So that's what I like to do. So next I'm going to be talking about charging your crystals. So once you've got your new crystals home, there's a variety of ways you can charge them. So you can do earthing, sunbathing, and full moon charging. So there's a few different ways. Like I like to do every kind of way, but really if I want to do a good wake up recharge, what I'll do is I'll leave my crystals out in the sun. So you don't have to leave them out all day. Like the sun does quite a good fast recharge. And I believe also with the sun, it's a really just a overall purifying charge. So there's not really going to be, with full moon charging, there's a lot of different energies that can be taking place during a full moon. But with the sun, I think it's just a really good overall cleanser. So it kind of, I think of it like quartz, for example. So quartz is a really good overall crystal that can help with healing all different parts of the body. And it's a really good crystal to amplify other crystals. So quartz doesn't get enough of a good rap, I believe, sometimes, like, because it's relatively, you can get it for sort of quite cheap, but it does a lot. Like, it's in our watches, it's in our screens, like it's so amazing, this crystal. So yeah, with charging, it's just being mindful of with full moons, for example, yeah, that just what the star sign it's in, what type of full moon it is as well. And I don't recommend charging during a eclipse as well. So sunbathing is probably the biggest one that I recommend. So with full moon, for example, if I go a little bit more into that full moon charging. So for this month, around May 16th, we have the full flower moon in Scorpio. So the full flower moon is named after the flowers that bloom in the Northern Hemisphere during springtime. And it's associated with renewal and things that can evolve and expand as well. And when we think about the star sign of Scorpio as well, so Scorpio, that's a water sign. It's all about the mysticism and mysteriousness of that energy that we're picking up, that intuitive energy too. So if you think about that energy that's coming from that full moon, so that's the type of energy that's going to be going, I feel like, into your crystals. So I just like to be mindful and just understand what type of energy I'm going to be, giving to my crystals during that time. So if you just want a good cleanser, I think for all your crystals, I think just the sun, like why not? And there's also earthing. So earthing is, I feel like you do an earthing recharge, and I kind of think of it like a cleanse as well after your crystal's done a lot of work. So you can use like a pot with some dirt in it, and you can place your crystal inside. And because if you're going to put it out in the, in the garden, you have to remember where you put it and maybe do a little marker or something. And earthing, because crystals, and they come from the earth, that's going to give it a really good grounding recharge, and it's just soaking up all the earth's energy as well. So it's almost like it's going back to its home, in a way. So I think about doing a recharge like that when one of, particularly my darker crystals, for example, like my smoky quartz, I will return that to the dirt when I think it's done a lot of shadow work for me. So that's covering charging. Yes. Now I want to talk about activating your crystals. So when I've done my cleanse and I've done my charge, that's when I'm going to do the activation process. So you can also call it programming, but I prefer not to call it programming. I just think activating is unlocking the crystal's full potential. So when I bought a new crystal, so what I'm going to do is when I'm activating it, I'm giving the crystal to me spiritually. So it's been through, when you think about, a really long process to get to you. So millions and millions of years, it's gone through all the temperature changes. It's gone, really hot, really cold, and it's been blasted out of the mountains, most of the time, or dug out, and it's also worked its way to shops and things, and then it may have been in a delivery truck, and they could have been carved in different ways, and it's been handled by lots of different people. So when you think about it, by the time that crystal has gotten to you, it's been through so much. So it's picked up a lot of stuff along the way. So now it's finally reached its home, and it's with you. So this is the time that you're going to give it to yourself spiritually. So what I like to do is a meditation with my crystal, and I like to hold it. Hold it wherever you feel like you're drawn to holding it. You can say a few words as well after you've done your meditation, but during your meditation, this is the time to feel its energies and feel how it speaks to you. Does it speak to you in your root chakra, in your sacral chakra, your heart, your third eye, your crown? And you're going to feel which part of yourself is being activated at that time. So that's what I like to do. And then afterwards, once I've sort of picked up on its energies, that's when I'm going to set my intentions for my crystals. So if you're, for example, you've got a piece of jewelry that you've got. So for example, this ring. So I've got this amethyst ring here. So this amethyst ring, if I want it to, I want to have a certain intention with it. For example, I want to really open my crown chakra, and I want to really access more spiritual energy and messages and feelings and, psychic awareness as well. I might, put it in my hands and say, I wear this ring knowing that it's going to activate my crown chakra, and I'm going to be listening to spirit and getting the messages that I need. And after you've, held it in your hands for a while, you might start to feel it warm up. You might start to feel your hands tingle as well. So that's just listening to your higher self and what it's telling you. So that's the way you can set your intentions with it. So every time you wear it, you're thinking, this is what this crystal is doing for me. So that's what I like to do. And so after that, so you've activated your crystals, you're ready to do what you want to do with them now. So you've gone through the process and you've done it in such a loving and intuitive way as well. So next is, what you want to do with your crystals and the many uses that they have. So now I'm going to be talking about the uses of crystals. So as you know, crystals come in a variety of forms. So, we've got shaped crystals like this, like they're also known as palm stones or meditation stones as well. So these ones are really good for Reiki. So I'm a Reiki practitioner. So if you're wanting to put them on your client, they're not going to sort of roll off and fall down and stuff. So I really like them for either meditation or Reiki as well. So they're really good healing stones, and also with the shape of them as well, that round shape, it gives them a bit of a sort of a softer type of energy as well. So you'll see crystals are carved and shaped in a variety of ways, and you can kind of feel the difference of energy that comes out of them because of the shape. So some people will wear crystals in their bras, during the day, and, like especially like rose quartz, for example, like people will do that. So, this is a nice little tumbled stone that you may want to wear in your pocket of your jeans as well. And there's just different ways you can wear them, like rings. I've got plenty of rings. You can wear them in your hair, you can wear them in your necklaces, but also they're used for other things like divination as well. So I use them for a lot for my tarot readings. So I will place them around on my table, and I will also store them in my little bags as well, and with my tarot decks that I believe the crystal is calling for, like which tarot deck, like I just intuitively choose one that I think is going to be best fitted with that tarot deck. So there's really is countless ways. So you will just know what you want to do with them. Like meditation is a great way. Like if you're doing a type of meditation where it's really getting down to maybe the root chakra and you're really wanting to ground yourself, like I quite often have meditated with smoky quartz, and I find that it just helps sort of draw out what's bothering me at the time. And so that's what I also like to do with them, like storing them, like really I love to store them on my altar, my shelves. What I don't recommend you do is probably store them in a drawer away in a dark place and just leave them there, or leave them in cupboards for a long time too, because what happens, they tend to get forgotten about, and then they gather dust. And for me, when I start to see dust on any of my crystals, that to me it's starting to like go to sleep kind of thing. So the energy's not vibrating at its fullest during that time. So that's my personal thoughts anyway. You can also store crystals in your plants. So this plant, it traveled with me a few hours when I was moving one time a few years back, and it lost all its leaves. Would you believe it lost all its leaves? And when I got it here, I put it on a windowsill in my kitchen, and I started to put little gemstones around it because I just thought, well, I'll see if that helps. Not really thinking about it too much, but that's the key here. I didn't think about it too much. I listened to my higher self here, and I put the little gemstones around, and look what's happened. It woke right back up again, and now it's flourishing. So that just tells you how much crystals can do and gemstones can do. Like, they can really bring things to life as well. So really, at the end of the day, it's about listening to your higher self, your higher awareness. I can't stress that enough when it comes to using crystals. And really, that's really where you're going to see the most beautiful energy come out of them, is when you just personally connect to them, and no one can tell you which stone you should have. So I hope this video has helped you guys today. I really enjoyed making it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments as well. So thank you so much.